Hi, it's Rachel with Brutus again, and today he and I are going to work on a heeling introduction. So I see Nicole went over loose leash walking basics with him last week, and so I want to introduce him to heeling because it's kind of the other part of the walking and leash manners that we work on. So loose leash walking is where you give him the whole leash and it's just out for a pleasure walk. He gets to explore and do things. He can run around in front of you and all of that. Heeling, however, is where you have him close to your side and he walks with you the entire time. So he matches your pace and doesn't wander off or anything like that. Also with heeling, he always sits whenever you stop. Oh, excuse me. This is good so you have a bit more control over him. If you're, out on a walk and there are a bunch of other dogs or, people, maybe they have strollers or skateboards and stuff that are coming down the other direction on the sidewalk towards you, and instead of Brutus being way out here, you want him a little bit closer while you're going by those things. You can have him sit, put him in a heel, and just walk right through and keep him close by you. Also, it's good for more control over him if you take him out, like to the vet or to Petco or something like that, where there are a bunch of other dogs around that you don't know and you don't know how they'll react to him. It keeps him closer to you. He has more attention to you. He has to pay attention more, and you have some more control over him in situations like that. So, we are going to start out our heeling. Usually we do heeling on the left side. It's up to you, but whenever you do the heeling, try to keep it on the same side. But most dogs are taught on the left. So good boy, Brutus. Sit. There we go. Sit. Good sit. Okay, so this is the position that we like to start off in. He's close to me, right here, and he's paying great attention. Oops, drop the treat. Sit, Brutus. Good boy. All right. Now, since he is a small dog, it's kind of hard for him to look all the way up at us up here. And so a lot of times they sit a little bit farther out and kind of turn their tush out. And for the most part, that's okay, but don't let it get too out of control. You still want him to be nice and close to you. So, for holding the leash, remember, put your right thumb through the loop of the leash and make a fist, so you got a good hold of it there. And you can control the slack with your left hand, or if you need to use your left hand for treats or something, you can gather the leash up like this in your right hand, so your left hand is free. Now, usually when dogs start off, we need a little bit tighter of a leash. We're not choking them or anything, but eventually we do want them to walk on a nice loose leash. You should look for this nice J shape right here. So, let's start off. Brutus, sit. Good sit. Okay, so always lead with the foot closest to him, so it's going to be my left foot. I'm going to slap my leg as I walk forward and say, Brutus, heel, and keep him right by me. So, Brutus, heel, heel. Good boy, good heel. Heel. Okay, that was great. So, the first time when I had him sit, he was kind of way out there, but since it was our first time, I let it slide. Now, the second time, when I knew I was going to be stopping, I bent down and I baited him forward and up with the treat, and he automatically sat, and it was a lot closer to me and a lot straighter, so that was fantastic. Good job, Brutus. Now, when you stop, you want to kind of get it to where he sits automatically. You don't want to have to tell him sit, because the sit command is included in the heel command. So, when you're walking around, he's right by you, you stop and he sits, you reward him for a good heel instead of a good sit. So he gets, kind of a whole picture of it. So we're just going to keep walking around and see how he does. We want to add some extra turns and stuff in here. so that he gets used to really paying attention to me and where I'm going, and he knows that we're on my schedule, not his schedule. So, Brutus, come here. Good boy. Sit. Good sit. Good job, Brutus. Good boy. Ready? Heel. Heel. Good heel. 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 Good heel, Brutus. Good heel. Heel. Good heel. Good boy. Good boy. Heel. 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 Good heel, Brutus. Good job. Good boy, heel. Yes. Good boy. All right. Again, that was really good. So whenever he got kind of too far behind me or too far in front of me, I would just repeat the word heel and kind of slap my leg, and he seemed to respond to that really well. Now, even though I don't have the treat right in his face, he still is looking after it pretty well. He's looking up and watching it and paying really good attention to me. So that's nice that I don't have to walk around like this asking him to heel. And even without the treat, he is very sweet and definitely wants to please. So he's paying good attention to me as his handler, and I'm sure he'll pay even more attention to you as his parents. Oh, good boy, Brutus. Good boy. So, when you're walking with him, a lot of times dogs can kind of get on their own agenda, forget to be paying attention to you. So if he is especially pulling too much and trying to get too far ahead of you, or walking too closely and kind of walking into you, it's a really good idea to just go into left-handed circles. So usually what you do is you turn it and you just bring your leg out a little bit more, like this. So you bring your knee up and move it out. So you're not kicking him and you're not trying to step on him. You're just moving your leg out so that it repositions his head and you're able to turn into him. Now, he's a small dog, and so he needs to be really aware of where you're going so that you don't accidentally step on him or trip over him. So it's important to do lots of turns in kind of left-handed circles of turning into him like that, so that he's really paying attention and gets accustomed to paying attention to where you're going. So let's practice a bit more, Mr. Brutus. Sit. 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 Good boy. Good sit. Ready? Heel. 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 Good boy. Good heel. Good heel. Good heel, Brutus. Good job. Good job. Heel. Brutus. Okay, so he seems to be lagging a bit more, trying to get behind me and get on my other side. Is not responding as well when I'm kind of giving him little tugs on the leash to bring him up and with his leash on the harness. So I'm going to put his leash on his collar and do a little bit of healing to see if he responds any better. Brutus, ready? sit. Sit. Good, sit. Good boy. Heel. Sit. Brutus, sit. Good sit. Good heel. Good heel, Brutus. Heel. Heel. Sit. Good heel, Brutus. Good boy. Good boy, yeah. All right, that was great. So he seems to be a little bit easier to control with just the collar. I totally understand why you have the harness. It can be more comfortable for the dogs and a bit more secure as well. However, I think that you should practice heeling at home in a safe, secure area with just the collar on, because when you if he's lagging, if you kind of pull up on the harness, that can kind of mess up his shoulders and mess up his legs, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for him to speed up. But he responded really well to the collar. So I would definitely suggest practicing with just the collar, and then practice, go back and forth between the collar and harness if the harness is what you plan on walking him most frequently on. You don't want to practice entirely with the collar so he's not used to it with the harness, but until he learns it and learns good habits, I suggest working with the collar. He did a really great job though. I'm really impressed to see how quick of a learner he is. This was Rachel and Brutus, and we were working on heel.